Apart from sending their strongest teams, the manner in which the Hungarians won the title was still very impressive. Football was just one of 16 gold medals Hungary won in Helsinki. Hungary were placed third in the medals table behind the United States and the Soviet Union, a remarkable achievement for a country of just 9 million people. Naturally, they received a hero's welcome on their return. And naturally, the politicians were quick to capitalize on the success of Helsinki.
A politika az bent van minden országnak a sportjában, mert azért ugye egy országot egy kormány képvisel, akár ilyen, akár olyan rendszerű, tehát annak érdeke az, hogy a sport is olyan legyen, hogy az elősegítse az ő tevékenységüket.
A nép állama 5 esztendő alatt felépítette a magyar sport nagyszerű otthonát, a Népstadion.
The most public manifestation of government backing for sport in Hungary came with the building of a huge new stadium in Budapest. In true communist fashion, it was called the Népstadion, the People's Stadium. The fact that many of the Helsinki athletes also helped with the building at some stage only added to the attraction when it was opened in August 1953.
A Népstadion avató ünnepségének kiemelkedő eseménye a budapesti Honvéd és a moszkvai Spartak mérkőzése. A két csapatkapitány, Puskás Ferenc és Szimonyan, valamint a két edző, Szokolov és Kalmár Jenő zászlót és virágcsokrot cserél.
The Arancsipat may have been building a reputation as the best national team in the world, but the Honvéd of Puskás and co. were doing the same at club level. Hungarian football looks set to conquer the world.
A viszony az egy kicsit egyoldalú volt. Mi kevésbé lelkesedtünk az akkori politikai helyzetért, mint ahogy a politika akkor lelkesedett a sport eredményekért.
Gustav Sebes was the coaching inspiration behind the Arancsipat. It helped that he had so many world-class players in his team, but above all they were innovators. Players were given freedom to experiment, and within this group lay the genesis of the total football of the modern game. In November 1953, the Hungarians came to London to play England. There was huge interest in the match, not just in Hungary, but across the whole of Europe. England's 81 years of invincibility at home to foreign teams looked decidedly under threat.
The great Wembley match began with Wright winning the toss from Puskás and an exchange of courtesies of a very friendly character, which is how it should be, of course.
Inkább szerintem az angolok csináltak egy nagy propagandát, mert ők azt mondták, hogy a világ két legjobb csapata játszik egymás ellen. Tehát minket felemeltek melléjük, saját maguk mellé.
Perfect coordination led to a goal for Hungary in less than a minute. The scorer's name is pronounced Hidikuti, I hope. The Olympic champions now started an absolute orgy of scoring. Their second came through Hidikuti. Their third was a real beauty. Just watch the smart footwork by Puskás. So the match ended with England's first defeat at home by a foreign side, their heaviest defeat for 72 years.
6 months later, the Hungarians made the most important train journey of their lives. After 16 years, the World Cup was returning to Europe. Hungary had reached the final the last time it had been held in Europe. This time they were favourites to go one better. In their way stood a nation still reeling from the effects of war. It was ironic that when peace came to Germany, football stopped. During the war, it had continued almost uninterrupted. Amid the chaos and hardship, the championship did start again in 1948. With little other entertainment, football became hugely popular to a level not witnessed before in the country.
Wie hier der frisch gebackene deutsche Fußballmeister VfB Stuttgart. Über 200.000 Begeisterte waren auf den Beinen, ihre Meisterelf zu begrüßen und zu feiern.
In 1950, Stuttgart was also the scene for West Germany's first ever international.
Das Länderspiel habe ich mitgemacht gegen die Schweiz. Die Schweiz hat uns persönlich die Chance geboten. Wir haben in Stuttgart gespielt vor 103.000 Zuschauern. Wir waren stolz und glücklich, dass sie uns eingeladen haben, dass die Schweiz uns die Chance geboten haben.
Beim Anpfiff durch den englischen Schiedsrichter Ellis herrscht noch leichtes Lampenfieber. Aber schon kurz danach geht die deutsche Mannschaft mit Volldampf zum Angriff über.
And within the first 10 seconds of their first game, West Germany almost scored.
Und jetzt kommt der entscheidende Moment des Spiels. In höchster Gefahr macht ein Schweizer Verteidiger Hand. 11 Meter. Ein Bombenschuss und Tor.
Berdensky had got West Germany off to a winning start. Sepp Herberger had been appointed national team coach in 1936, a post he held for 28 years. No individual contributed more to the evolution of the game in Germany than Herberger.
Ja, Herberger war so ein alter Fuchs. Er hat immer gewusst, wo er den Hebel ansetzen musste und hat auch die Mannschaft aufeinander mit ein paar Worten hat er uns zusammengeschweißt, dass es gar keinen Zweifel gab, dass jeder für jeden da ist und jeder das Letzte gibt.
It was against this background that Herberger took his team to Switzerland for the 1954 World Cup. At the start, no one gave them a chance. But by hook and by crook, they reached the final where they faced the Hungarians, unbeaten in 31 games stretching back 4 years. On the day of the final in Bern, it had been raining hard. It was the one thing that gave the Germans hope. They knew that man for man they were no match, but that the soggy pitch would make life difficult for their skillful opponents. The Hungarians had won the admiration of many in Western Europe, but there was a perception in the East that a communist country would not be allowed to win the World Cup. That left English referee Bill Ling with potentially the most difficult match of his life. Hungary raced into an early 2-goal lead. But within 10 minutes, the Germans were back on level terms, though Grosic, the Hungarian goalkeeper, was clearly impeded as Germany equalised. There were no more goals until just before the end of a match the Hungarians dominated. It was the Germans, though, who made the breakthrough to lead 3-2.
Ugye az az ominózus harmadik gól, amit a Puskás rúgott a befejezés előtt néhány perccel, amelyre mindenki esküdött, hogy nem volt les. Egyedül a játékvezető. Először érdekes módon, először először gólt ítélt. Aztán valamilyen oknál fogva még egyszer fütyült, és szabadrúgást ítélt a német csapat javára, azzal a címmel, hogy lesállás előzte meg a gólszerzést, a gól maga érvénytelen.
Das war überhaupt keine Debatte. Die Ungarn haben das auch anstandslos hingenommen. Die haben das selbst zugegeben, dass er 3 Meter im Abseits stand, der Puskás. Es gab keine Diskussion darüber.
Germany's victory was the most unlikely outcome. But then the World Cup final was becoming noted for producing unlikely results and controversy. The Hungarians to this day believe they were not allowed to win that final. But it was a defeat taken with customary good grace. In Germany itself, disbelief combined with a national euphoria unknown since the war. It marked Germany's re-entry into the cultural mainstream of Europe.